Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, Two Blokes Chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
We've got Jenn down at Mulwala.
Well, actually up at Mulwala, but that's
Up at Mulwala.
Yeah.
I'm losing.
Hello, Jen.
Hello, how are you both?
I'm doing all right. I can't speak for Sienna.
Look, I'm always saying I have to go up to Melbourne, so don't worry, Sienna. I know it's down, but seriously, I always get it wrong. Can't tell my left from my right.
Yeah, well, I did the same the other day. Someone said left, I looked right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family knows to look at the hands, not he listens to the voice.
Yeah. Now, Sienna actually is from Robinvale, so that accounts for a number of things, to say nothing of the fact that she probably does go down to Mulwala, geographically speaking. Now, you are a familiar voice to those who have listened to Two Blokes Chatting during the last 12 months. We were asked to do a 4-week program, Rob and I, just to sort of fill in while COVID happened. And next week it's 12 months. So the 4 weeks must just about be up.
There you go.
So the purpose of we're doing regional roundup today. We're talking to our friends in regional places. And we spoke to John in Robinvale, who is well known to Sienna, bracket her dad, close brackets. And he gave us some insights as to how COVID had affected his Murray River village, if you will. We've talked a bit about how that's impacted on you and your business. Tell the folks a little bit about the sort of work you do and how COVID has impacted on your client base.
Yeah, thank you. So I do marketing and social media, so I teach small businesses how to make marketing a priority in their business. So I guess my clients being predominantly small business, they have either excelled or really struggled during COVID-19. Anything tourism-based, obviously, food and beverage-based has really struggled. But some retailers, some of my best friends have small retail shops in Yarrawonga Mulwala, which is where I have, and they have literally boomed, because people haven't been able to travel. They've had to shop locally. So it's been probably one of the best, worst things that could have possibly happened. Of course, my side hustle is Buy From a Bush Business and Spend With Us, which is an online marketplace, and Buy From a Bush Business is a Facebook group. And so I've seen a huge influx of small businesses looking for help in that way. So obviously through the Facebook group, they can advertise whatever it is that they're selling for free, just like you normally would through a marketplace or something like that on Facebook. And Spend With Us is more like an Amazon type thing, so you can open your own shop front up. So for a lot of businesses that weren't online already, the thought of trying to set up a website, which is only stage one, of course, and you've got to get traffic to the website, was very daunting. So a platform like Spend With Us was a great help to them. So we've certainly seen small businesses, look for different ways because foot traffic just wasn't getting there, whether that was the preceding drought, bushfires, or of course COVID.
So I'm going to say a statistic here that's going to make Sienna's head fall off. I've got a Facebook group for my radio station, my online radio station, and I'm very excited because I've got 250 members in it. And People got the football broadcast that we do. We've just started a new group there, and we've got 32 members in that group. Now, the number of people in your group starts with a 3 too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. I think we ticked over something like 312,000 the other day.
And that's a combination, I suspect, of small businesses in the bush and also people like you and, I was going to say you and I, that's silly because you are in the bush, but people like me who are not running small businesses in the bush, but we do in fact have an interest in supporting local businesses.
Yeah, exactly. So anyone is welcome to go into the group because we need people who want to purchase the amazing goods that are in the group as well. But certainly the only people that can sell are from rural and regional Australia.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that is quite a big important thing. I know coming from a rural area that if people aren't going in, they're not getting it. They're not buying these products. They're not supporting these businesses. And so how did you find it we're coming out the other side of COVID now, coming out of sort of lockdown. How are you finding it now with business?
My social media and marketing business is going really well. In fact, all of it's going really well. I think between droughts and COVID and bushfires, and even there was some flooding there. We have kind of forgotten about the flooding that happened, in about January or February of last year in Queensland as well, or northern New South Wales. I think it's really changed people's habits. And I don't think that's going to go away very quickly. I think shop local has been something thrown down our throats by chambers and local councils for years and years and years. But I think all of a sudden community means so much more to us, and all of a sudden buying from someone in our backyard just seems to make us smile that little bit more, or knowing the joy that we're giving to a small business owner who has managed to survive all these horrific things, whether that's someone from rural or regional Australia, or whether that's just someone, if you're living in a capital city, that's just in your small strip of shops that has managed to survive due to support that they got from their community. And I don't think that particular habit is going to change very quickly. I think that we have discovered what community means.
Yeah, because I think the thing, being a small business owner myself, that you kind of hope that, there's been some habits that have changed. I guess the habit that we notice most are people who used to go into a corporate office 5 days a week are not doing that as much anymore. Sienna works in a cafe, which is how we met. She works in a cafe behind a building that I used to work in when I was doing my corporate gig. And you see that some of the bigger businesses are now starting to try and pull that back and try and get people to go back into the office. I suspect, though, as you say, I think with smaller businesses, people have, here's a word I hate so much, I'm going to use it too, pivoted, and yet it looks like a permanent pivot for many businesses.
Yeah, I think it does. I think I think a lot of people who knew they should have a website, or they knew they shouldn't just have Instagram or just Facebook, kind of got forced into it due to the lack of foot traffic, or due to the lack of what was actually happening in the world. So they went ahead and did these particular assets, and I think that they've seen the power of them now. I don't think they're going to stop trying, or they're not going to stop trying to build that side of their business that perhaps was a someday activity that become an urgent activity more or less overnight, if we remember rightly. Like, it seems like a bad dream now, but it kind of did hit us overnight. I know my marketing and social media business, for instance, it went from a full diary to an empty diary within 12 hours.
Yeah, so would you feel comfortable in saying that this movement was sort of inevitable? It was just sort of sped up with this whole pandemic?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of things have to fall into place for such a big movement to happen. I just think it was all about the right time, or the wrong time as it be, that things have just happened. And it's almost like, that Tetris effect, if anyone plays Tetris. Am I showing my age talking about Tetris?
I'm going to say, you young people in your Tetris, if it makes you feel any better.
Thank you. That made me feel so much
Excellent.
better. Yeah. But I just think, that whole, just buying Australian, buying from the person down the road is just been a phenomenon that has just come about from what we have gone through in the last 2 or 3 years here in Australia.
I guess the only concern I've got with something like a Buy From a Bush business, and we'll keep saying Buy From a Bush business because it's a Facebook group people should go and have a look at, and spendwithus.com.au.
Thank you.
And we don't allow commercials in terms of community radio, but that's a really community-focused thing, and I have no concerns whatsoever in terms of plugging that, because you're not doing this to make money, you're doing it to create a community, and I think that's just awesome. So I think, though, my only concern with something like that, you've got 300,000 people who have joined the group, or 312, sorry to undersell you. I'm actually looking for the day when I get 312. That'll be my exciting moment. But how do you do quality control?
It takes a lot of work. It does take a lot of work. I'm very strict with my quality control. I call myself my mayor of my own online city, my volunteer mayorness. I don't have a crown or a cloak, which, I'm looking for. If anyone wants to sponsor a crown or a cloak, that'd be great. But, yeah, it does take a lot of work. But I think setting it up from the start with very strict rules around what you can and can't do, and who can't sort of post or things like that. I've created a community, and when you create a community, you have all these little volunteer, almost police, who police the group for you and will send you a message to say, I don't think this is appropriate, or, have you seen this? Or, so it just doesn't become my job anymore. Like, people have embraced it as their own community and therefore are wanting to look after it and sort of just come to tell me, oh, this is happening just in case you didn't see it. So that, I'm really proud of that people have taken ownership of it themselves and have really embraced that community, just like you would, if you had an offline community. They've taken those same values into the online community.
Yeah, again, my group of 255 people, I find it difficult to keep that under control. When you've got 312,000 people, it's quite remarkable. So, Jen, just a quick one before we let you go. The world of Mulwala, Yarrawonga, I was up there, as you will probably, I hope you remember,
Yes.
in November, since we had lunch together, and you bought me lunch, which is very nice. But that's why I haven't been back, because I have to buy you lunch.
I know.
Yeah, so I just go and have lunch with people and then disappear and you never see me again. The town looked like it was buzzing. Obviously, there is a restriction on people going overseas, so people presumably coming to the beautiful Yarrawonga Mulwala area. How's the town kicking at the moment?
Look, the town's going really well. I would really encourage anyone who's listening or, to tell their friends and family to come to the border community. It's very interesting to watch the stats that rural New South Wales is booming, rural Victoria is booming, but our border community, people still have a little bit of fear around, what will happen if the borders close or, and things like that. There's sort of that little bit of fear still of people wanting to come to the border communities and support the border communities. So, we're still trying to work on that and how we can get that out. And I think governments at both state, federal and local levels can see that and are trying to work with some significant business owners, or and not big business, but significant business owners in the areas up and down the Murray to try and, I guess, market that it is okay. But yeah, friends that own caravan parks and resorts and that, their first question that someone asks still is, what's your refund policy? So there's still that element of fear, which there shouldn't be. We're open for business. We have the most amazing golf courses and things to do around, up and down the Murray everywhere, just not Yarrawonga Mulwala. But yeah, so I'd really encourage anyone who wants to come on a holiday to, come through the region.
Well, thank you, Jen, for being part of Two Blokes. Well, in fact, today, one bloke and one woman chatting, and always good to have you on board, particularly given that obviously you've had a very busy media day today, You bumped Sky News to talk to us, so thank you very much for doing that.
No way.
Jen was on the TV this morning.
You were much better, your radio.
There she is. Jen, spendwithus.com.au and Buy From a Bush Business Facebook group. They're the two websites to give out.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great morning.
Thank you very much, Jenn Donovan up there in Mulwala, and she is a ripper. We say that all the time about all our guests, that they're rippers, but she is a ripper. She's doing such great stuff for rural communities. Hey, we're going to have some sponsorship announcements. Then we're going to hear a song from a man who sadly passed away last Monday, one of the great Australian performers. It is 20 minutes past 10. This is One Bloke and One Girl chatting on 94.7 The Pulse.